Hi and welcome to Afternoon Tea episodes with Nimble Futures. I'm Niyati Patel, and we do this as a conversation. So we have Shawn Bradbury from Grounded in Granite.
Hello, everyone.
And we do these conversations to learn about ourselves and to help you know you. And we learn from each other. So we're really glad to have you here. Thank you for joining us. One of the most important things that keeps popping up, I work with parents and families. And Shawn does work with middle-aged men. And again, it involves your own personhood and families and in relationship with others. The most important question that comes up is when we speak of families and when we speak of parents, oh, their children must be quite young. So is parenthood about just young children, babies, small child? What is it? What do you think, Shawn? How would you want to approach this? Is this a myth or is it a reality?
No, it's a reality because I'm about to be 58 in June, and I still have parents. My parents are here, and I am their son. I have I have two sisters. My parents will always be parents. So no matter how old I get, I'll still get texts from my mom. You know what I mean? She is always the mom. She'll always be that way, just as I was always be, a father to my daughter too, regardless of the age.
I feel the same way. I feel that, even what my dad did pass away a few years ago, but there's a sense of coming home. Like there's no one who can take that place. And I guess it does change once you are past this life. But I'm still living, so I guess I feel when I need some guidance, when I need that connection, or when I'm just thinking about him, past memories, I find comfort. It's so I think it's a long-term relationship beyond what we might imagine in in terms of our current life circumstances. Would you say?
No, I would agree with that. I think, we go through these stages in life where starting from infancy up until teenage years, that you still need your parents, right? You are surviving due to them, right? They're
Yeah.
taking care of everything, all of your needs. And it comes to a point where then you have to start to take care of your own needs. And I'm sure that there were times in my 20s and 30s and stuff where you have your own life and you're starting out and you just maybe haven't talked to them in a while. I know some people that talk to their parents constantly, but I can recall a time where we didn't talk. And that was just because I had things going on and it was just a different time in my life. It didn't mean anything less about my parents. But I think there's always going to be a time where you come around, kind of like, and you realize, oh, I haven't talked to them in a while, or just things, your life settles down or something, and you just come back into each other's lives. I think it's different for everybody. That's just what I've found.
Yeah, there it is the way we interact with our parents or as parents with our kids that shifts over time. When the child, like a baby or a toddler, you can't keep your eyes off of them. You have to watch them. It's really, really important. And you're watching them in your sleep. And God forbid, I can't say God forbid. It is part of it. They get up before you do. So you have to be up if they are up. There's no way like, oh, you want to get up now? You can. I will get up at another time. I didn't sleep enough. It
Mm-hmm.
doesn't work like that. So from time to time, with the life stage we are in, we do step in differently. But I guess when we're in our 20s, even as teenagers, if our parents did that, I think our parents will not like it, first of all, because they're like, I have other things to do. You can do this on your own.
Right.
And even for us, it's like, give me a break. I'm not a child anymore. And already as teenagers, we feel like, I am this grown adult. I'm a big person. And then I'm just going to crawl into your arms the minute something goes wrong. But that's okay because I'm still your child. I'm entitled. Okay, I'm kidding. But this does happen.
That is so true. I experienced like I'm an adult now. You don't need to blah blah blah. But then when it comes to being like I need my dad, you know, it's I don't want to say that they revert to a younger version of themselves, but there's just that part of like, okay, I still need you, of course. I'm in that mode of growth and everything. Where yes, I want to be more independent. I enjoy these things, but there's still you still want to come back to that home base, if you will.
Yeah. And even into my adulthood, I mean, when I go through something emotional, I want to talk to my mom. I want to be able to have that space of not that she can do anything about it. I would have to figure that out, but it gives me that home base, like you said, comfort, the space, and I think parents, no matter what age a child may be, parents, and I don't want to make a generalization, but it's the home base. It and maybe sometimes it's your parents, sometimes it's someone else who raised you, but that individual or group of people, that is home base. And it doesn't matter where you are. You could be traveling, you could be miles away, you could be having your own family, or your own career. You're in different life stage for yourself. But I don't think we think about it. And I started really thinking about that when I started traveling. I would travel for work, sometimes 6 months a year. And I could do that confidently. I had that sense of pride and sense of belonging because of the home base. I don't have to be there all the time. But when, say, uh, when one of our parents gets sick or they have to transition out of this world, it shakes the home base. That's when I realized, yeah, without that home base, I was flying and I thought I was doing it all by myself. Um, but so much of where you come from is in that. You're rooted in that. And so parenting is lifelong. You learn. It's important. What the little baby might need, what little kids might need, it's important to know what they would need. And it's a different way of living because you have to put someone else ahead of you.
Oh yeah, without a doubt.
So we start learning. Um, but then we start to groove with it. Um, we shift and turn, and we realize there's no set way to do anything. We start to learn to give grace to ourselves, and we start expanding in ways that we never imagined. I mean, I have done things or been asked questions from children that I never imagined myself doing or participating in. And if I didn't put myself in that position, I will grow, I will learn, I will have experiences, but they'll be limited. They will be far more limited than getting into taking care of someone else who is not going to go away. I can't divorce my kids.
This is true. I've found that throughout my daughter's life, I remember sleeping on the couch at the time. We're taking shifts. One of us upstairs getting sleep, one of us is on the couch, and Aaron's in this little, I don't know what you would call it, little device of like a little cradle or something, and then it's like you're watching the time and like, okay, your time to get up, your time to do this, so you're doing these shifts, and there's so much involved in it, and then it just evolves from doing all these things. And my daughter just turned 18, And on some level, I thought I would miss like the little girl aspect of her. And I love looking back at pictures and stuff, but like I am very present with her. I love who she is now. I love have the conversations that we have, when she cooks a meal for us or something, just
Mm.
doing something, seeing that she is striving on her own, becoming her own person, and we can have these more in-depth conversations and such. But like we said before, it's almost, going into adulthood, but then there's still a lot of things that she still needs to learn and experience. And I'm happy to be there to help her when I can.
And I'm sure you feel happy about who you are now. I mean, it's great that you like to see. I mean, I like to see that too. Pictures from when they were kids, even pictures from when we were kids, for example. And we see our parents as young men and women, you know. It's nice, but I like to see where we are now. It feels good.
Yeah, and I'm definitely a different person, a different dad than I was even 5 years ago. I've learned a lot of things throughout my life, but I've had to be willing to be aware of things and adjust to things. And I think that's a big thing to do with it. And we've talked about this many times, but give yourself grace. Just because you've done something wrong in the past doesn't mean it has to continue. Um, lessons will be learned. If you're not failing, you're not trying, right? It's like that's kind of the lesson. It wasn't a lesson I learned growing up, but it's a lesson I learned now. So I would just say, just don't beat yourself up over things and listen to your own intuition, um, and trust yourself and adjust when needed. And I'm happy to say I'm not the same person. I'm not the same dad I was. It doesn't mean I was a bad person or dad bad beforehand. It just means there's just been evolution and stuff, which I'm very thankful for.
I really like what you said. It's not what you do, it's how you feel. And you lean into that.
Mm.
And I think yeah, we can all really gain from that. Like, how do you feel in the moment? And it's not exactly to do things a certain way, to be perfect in any way. It's how you feel about things. And spending that time with yourself and your kids, no matter what age. Again, you know, when I visit my mom, it's something special. It is special. It's the time we spend together. And I don't want to be the little kid I used to be. I don't want to be that. But um, I don't think she wants to be running behind me either. She has her own life. But we learn. We learn as we grow, and we grow as we learn. So this is something I want to leave you with. And Shawn, you're welcome to give your closing remarks. I know this feels short, but we try to keep this short because, you don't have as much time to keep jibber jabber of the two of us. We want to hear you too. But this is what I want to leave you with is that who you are as a person matters so much more than what you do as a parent. So, as much as possible, try being yourself in your relationship as a parent. And it's not about finding all the top notch this and that, the techniques, devices, but just being able to be wholly and completely yourself every moment and allowing that to happen for your children. And then playing out the nuances of where to hold the fort down and where to, be permissible and let things flow. You start to strike that balance. But the most essential person that's important in this moment is you, the parent.
Yeah, and you just said balance, and that was what I was going to end with myself. I thought about that when you were speaking. Life is all about balance. I think if we lean heavier one way or the other way, it might work out well to begin with, but I think you overcompensate on things. So, in this regard, referring to balance is, especially if you have younger kids, you might lean towards your parents to ask how did you do this? Can you help me out with this? But I think there's also a point where you need to stop asking for advice and trust your own intuition, because you may feel that something, I don't want to do this because someone told me to do this, because it doesn't feel right to me. Once again, it goes back to, I think, some trial and error. And I don't know, stop asking everyone for advice, which was one of my big downfalls to begin with. Be choosy of who you do ask. And at the end of the day, what feels right for you.
So thank you. You are the super parent, superpower, the super learners, and keep going. And we want to hear more from you. Share with us your journeys. Tell us what part of this conversation resonated with you, because then we can come back with more, and we can grow with you as we go along on this journey. So thank you.
Yeah, without a doubt. If you have any suggestions about what you want us to talk about, that'd be great too. Drop it in a comment. We'd be happy to tackle anything. So thank you so much for your time.
Bye bye.
Bye bye.